Okay, thanks so much for being on time, everyone. We're just gonna wait 2 more minutes. So, it's an evening class. I know that everybody's just getting off work or coming back from school. I think actually it might be holidays for the students actually. But feel free to make yourself comfortable. Maybe have a drink, or if you're eating your dinner, feel free to just eat your dinner. Thanks so much for being on time, everyone. Okay, we're gonna start first. Thank you so much everyone for being on time and joining us for this evening class on AI in marketing. My name is Bansing, I'm from Hedge, and together with me I have Huda, who is our trainer for today's session. So just to give you a bit of background about the program, we are running this program together with the Asia Foundation and with support from Google .org, which is the philanthropic arm of Google, to run this program called Go Digital ASEAN. The entire program looks at digital upskilling for micro, small businesses in Singapore. And we are working together with ACE to run this program for you guys because we thought that, as part of your polite challenge, it would be relevant for you to gain some digital marketing skills. So that's how the collaboration happened. And yeah, without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Huda, who's going to start the session for today.
Thank you so much, Wan Ching, and good evening, everyone. I hope you're all doing well, and thank you so much for being prompt and being early for some of you who came on board earlier before 7. I think some of you are already popping in right way before 7. So thank you so much, everyone, for being here. So today you are here to learn about AI in marketing. Okay, and it is a theoretical class today with a little bit of demonstration. So I really encourage you to take down notes, and you can always utilize the tools at your own time later on. Okay, so as I go through the session, just feel free to, ask me questions inside the chat. You can utilize the chat, no problem. And if I do ask you questions, I hope that you will be able to also respond in the chat as well, so I can find out what are your thoughts and what are your insights. Okay, so let's get started by first myself introducing myself. Okay, so hi, I'm Huda, and I'm the founder of Fempreneur Secrets. So I also am a digital marketing trainer and practitioner. So here I am with Hatch, and I'm a digital marketing trainer here, and I run businesses since 2010. I also have a video and live streaming production house in Singapore where I have served Fortune 500 companies as my clients, like Hitachi Asia, Prudential, UOB Bank. And the media that you see here on the screen, Borneo Bulletin, Marketing in Asia, CNA, Surya, Berita Harian, these are all the media that I have been featured on. So simply put, to say that I am not just a practitioner, I am also the living example of how you can utilize digital marketing for personal branding or even for your own business branding as well. All right, so let's kick off today's session by first understanding this part about AI. And I'm sure that you've already done a little bit of introduction to AI. I think I see some familiar names who have attended the earlier sessions with me. And we know what artificial intelligence is all about. But how can we effectively leverage AI for effective marketing? And that's what we are going to be discussing today, which is diving deep into how AI can actually transform your marketing. And we will be using 3 tools, and I'll share with you a little bit more about that at a later stage. Okay, so what we'll explore today, we're going to take a look at some AI tools that will make the technical aspects of digital marketing easy to work with. And I will show you some real life demos of these tools in action, and you can learn how to apply these AI actions and tools to your own business. Okay, so AI enhanced workflows for marketing. Now, as a small team, okay, and I think a lot of you here who are starting your own startups or even your businesses, you may start small, and that's completely fine. But with the power of artificial intelligence, you can seem like you have a big team and you can do more work. There are more things that can be done. So it includes things like SEO or search engine optimization support based on strategies that you can develop, or even doing copywriting with the help of like ChatGPT or even other form of generational AI as well. And you can use AI tools to generate ad copies, especially if you want to monetize and also to get new leads into your business. And of course, you can utilize AI tools for social content and caption based on your strategy. Okay, so I think this is something that's quite interesting in today's landscape. Let me just verify first. Am I spotlighted, or like to make sure that everybody can see me? Okay, great.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so I want to kick off today's session with understanding what SEO is. Okay, so I just want to have a rough understanding of where you are at. So if you know SEO very well, probably know it better than me. Okay, I want you to put a 1 in the chat. But if you've never heard of this monster or this interesting alien called SEO, you can drop a 2 inside the chat. Okay, so I'll just give you a moment for you to make a decision whether you're an SEO expert or you're just really, really new to it. Okay, so just drop 1 or 2. So again, if you are very, very new to it, drop 2. But if you are an expert, then you drop 1. Okay, so I know that what kind of students I have today in the house. All right, great. So I've got lots of tools. Great. So you have probably heard, but you have no idea what this is. Okay, so that's exactly why we are here today. All right. So thank you so much also for being very participative in the chat. Ooh, I see so many, like chat coming up, which is great. Okay, so first of all, I need you to understand that search engine optimization, or SEO, is the tool that is, or more of like the way that you will get to see articles pop up on your Google search. Okay, so when you have good strategies applied into your content strategy, whether it is through your digital marketing efforts or whether it is through your websites, your content, and even your social media content as well, you can actually increase the chances of you appearing or ranking higher in the SERP or SERP, okay, which stands for Search Engine Results Page. Okay, so SEO, headline creation here, what we're saying is that when we write blog articles, we write social media content, or even on LinkedIn, where you try to share a little bit more about what you are good at, it is a good practice to use SEO headlines, or headlines that are able to hook your audience, filled with or peppered with some keywords that are relevant to your topic or your area of specialization. Okay, I know it's a mouthful, okay, but this is just the tip of the iceberg. SEO is really quite a deep topic. And in other classes that I teach, SEO is a module on its own. Okay, but today we are just touching on the surface to show you how you can seem like an expert, or how you can actually do it faster without knowing the full details of what SEO is all about. Okay, so on the screen here, you will see this screenshot. This is something familiar, I believe, to a lot of you, where you do a Google search, and then after that, you will be able to see the article that you are looking for, or the content that you are looking for based on what you are searching for. So in this example, the keyword that we type into the Google search bar is on-page SEO. That's the target keyword. So what appears in the first page, which is your search engine results page, could be this article, on-page SEO. Okay, so now just some interesting things for you just to take note of is that SEO, or the search engine results page, is also dependent on your search history. So if you have activated your search history, they will do their very best. This whole algorithm within Google will do their very best to give you articles or the types of articles that are relevant to what you have searched for before. So in the example I can give you is that if you are like me and you love to cook, you're always looking for recipes. Okay, and you want to type inside the search bar, like, okay, healthy meal prep. So you've done that search maybe a couple of times. You've probably put in meal prep salmon or meal prep vegetables and so on. So they will pop up the articles that you have seen before and also put up those articles that are most relevant to you based on the keyword that you have selected. So I would say that when you are doing your digital marketing effort and your content marketing, it is very crucial for you to identify key headlines, fill and pepper in with the keywords that you think your audience are searching for. Okay, so let's take a look and go a little bit deeper as to how we can craft these effective SEO headlines. Okay, so as I've shared, it has to be relevant because the way we are receiving the content as users, we also want the content to be relevant. So you have to put yourself in the shoes of your ideal customers and ask yourself, what is it that they are looking for? Or what are they interested to find out? So based on those think or thought process, you will then be able to key in the keywords that are relevant to your target audience's search. Okay. And of course, understand the next thing, which is search intent. Now, for search intent here, it is about understanding what motivates your audience when they are keying in those words in the search bar. Is there something specific that your audience is looking for? Is it a product? Is it a service? Or are they there just merely for information? So you need to understand the intent when you're working together with your audience. Okay, and of course, the headline length. For SEO headlines, it is typically between 50 to 60 characters. And there are some reports and research done that longer headlines might get truncated in search results, and therefore it cannot get picked up effectively by your audience. Not that it cannot be crawled by the search engine, crawlers. No, it is that it cannot be seen by your audience. So audience are still people. So if they see that the keyword that they're looking for is not there, they might skip the article entirely. Okay, so that's very, very important for you to understand. So 50 to 60 characters. And of course, clarity and conciseness. So you must make sure that the headline is clear, easy for people to understand, and the key message of your article is inside there. Okay, so there are conversations around how we want to hook our audience. So the headline has to be, filled with hooks and all that. But there is a difference between clickbait and a good hook. So you need to understand that whatever you choose in your headlines, even if it is AI generated, you still have to back it up with ethical groundings and moral decisions when you put up the content. So when we are marketers, when we run our businesses, when we do the marketing efforts, it is one of the toughest decisions actually to decide, should we do this following all the trends that's available out there, or ground ourselves based on the values that we believe in our organization? So for me, one of the things that I strongly believe in is honesty and also integrity. So I would never want to cheat you or cheat your feelings for that matter by putting up a headline that has got nothing to do with the article that I have created. So that is clickbait. Okay, we don't want that. What we want is relevant, and it is clear, and it is what your audience wants and are searching for. Okay, so that's something we need to remember. Now, other than that, we need to understand when we create anything for that matter, not just SEO, when we create anything using artificial intelligence, we need to give it the instructions that matters to us. So I think I've shared this before in the intro class, but basically for AI to work, you need to give it good inputs for the outputs to appear well. So I use the analogy garbage in, garbage out. So if you put in garbage, you will receive garbage. So you've got to be smart about how you prompt the AI tools to ask it for what you are looking for. Okay, so that's very, very critical. So in a short while, I'm going to show you how you can generate multiple headline options in ChatGPT. We're going to input a topic. You can try it on your own if you have access to ChatGPT. Okay, and you can craft headlines that are both engaging and SEO friendly. So, okay, in a short while, I'm going to demonstrate that. Now, this is some of the tips that we can share when it comes to prompt writing. So when you are creating a prompt for artificial intelligence, and in particular to be utilized for SEO headline generation, you want to start first with thinking about the topic. So define your topic clearly, get it straight to the point, and don't be over generic with what you are trying to express. Okay, so try to get it clear. And of course, include in key features to highlight. Again, it is a system, it is a robot. Okay, so if you don't provide it the information that it needs, it is not going to be able to help you do your work well. Okay, so you've got to identify the key features or unique selling points that you want to emphasize in the headline. Okay, and it would be good practice to also include in your target audience. So consider who your audience is and what we might, like write to appeal to them. And then you input this information into ChatGPT. So as an example over here, create an SEO-friendly headline for an article about sustainable fashion targeting young adults. Okay, so this is an example of what we can input into ChatGPT. So after you've already placed in all this key information, you would want to generate the headlines. Now, the rule of thumb is that whatever you get in the first try may or may not be the perfect one. So you refine. And I'll show you how I refine the methods in prompting and how I can eventually get the ones that I'm looking for. Okay, and then after that, you can select the best headlines and consider doing this, which is called A/B testing. So A/B testing is a process of testing between option A and option B and seeing which of these two will capture the attention of more of your audience. Okay, so that's something for you to do a test on. Okay, so it can be done in many ways, whether it is through the running of your advertisements or whether it is actually running it through an application that is able to push out the content according to the test. So if you do 50% A, 50% B, then you see half of the traffic on your website will go to test A, and then after that, the other half will go to variation B. So this is just a generic explanation of what A/B testing is. But again, this is actually quite complex. It is something that you would go and dive deeper into. So if you're interested in this, you can definitely do a quick Google search to find out what A/B testing is all about. Okay, so there are a couple of AI prompts that we can try out. Okay, and there are many, many different types. So you can see over here. I'm going to show you each of them one by one, and then we will see how we can improve on it. Okay, is that okay with everyone? Okay, so let me share my screen for the ChatGPT. Okay, I hope you can see it now. Okay, great. So I've pre-inserted all of them here so that I don't have to go back and forth to it. Okay, so let's take a look at the first one, a generic topic headline. So here, we are going to copy this part. Generate a catchy SEO headline for an article about the health benefits of meditation for beginners. I'm going to paste it inside the Zoom chat, so feel free to copy it and try it out yourself too. All right? Okay, so let's do this right now together. Okay, and I'm generating it on ChatGPT, and they are proposing one. Okay, so when you're doing your digital marketing effort, you don't want just one catchy headline, right? You want multiple. So you can always edit the prompt that you gave earlier and replace with the numbers that you're looking for. So I'm going to do 10. That's actually my default. I usually ask for more because I can always narrow it down. So generate 10 catchy SEO headlines for an article about health benefits of meditation for beginners. Okay, so here you go, 10 different titles, catchy SEO headlines. Okay, so how can I make it nicer? How can I make it more relevant? So I'm going to ask it to include my brand name. Okay, let's say my company name is Yoga for Good. Okay, let's say it's Yoga for Good. Okay, so I'm going to ask it to adjust. So adjust the above type headlines to be suitable for my brand, Yoga for Good. So it's going to adjust the titles that it has previously selected. So there you go. So now it's actually using your actual keyword that you would like to highlight. In this case, it's yoga for good. And you have it inserted into your topics over here, your SEO headlines. Okay, so as a digital marketer, if I want to identify all of these things, whether it's relevant to the article that I'm looking at, it is a critical point for you to read back the article and see if any of these things resonate. Okay, so for example, if I have an article that only mentions 5 health benefits instead of 7, then I have to make sure that in my title, I change the 7 to 5. Okay, it's as simple as that. Okay, or in actual fact, my article did not at all talk about beginners. It was actually more for general meditation. So I have to adjust this topic accordingly. So at the end of the day, my friends in the room, I would like you to use these tools, but it must be accompanied with your skills, your wisdom, and your knowledge. So don't ever forget the power of your brain. Okay, so we just make minimal adjustments to make sure that we can never be replaced. Okay, and of course, technology is there to speed up the process, but not to replace us. Okay, so that's actually something that I want to emphasize over here. Now, if I want to go a little bit deeper into this and I want them to come up with the article itself, let me just quickly show you the trick. Okay, so I'm going to just choose one. Let's say I choose this one. Okay, I'm going to ask it to outline the article for me. Okay, so outline a content or blog post, no more than 500 words, focusing on this topic. Okay, and it writes it for me. Okay, so this is actually the beauty of artificial intelligence. It helps you do your work, speeds up the process, but you need to validate and verify all this information. So I think at the end of the day, most important is that these are here to guide you. You are the expert in what you do, so you can take all of this information as an outline, but you need to still include in your expertise, backed it by evidence, and any proof points that can actually substantiate your points. Okay, so that's very, very important. And then, of course, at the end of the day, have fun. Okay, so there are a couple more headlines that we can, try out. I'm just going to demonstrate one more. So I'm going to do this, the urgency-based headline, which is generate an urgent and engaging SEO headline for a limited time offer on digital marketing courses. Okay, this is actually quite broad. So we can, we can even adjust the prompt a little bit to make it relevant to our business. Okay, so again, I would like 10. I don't really like to do 1. We can do more, no problem. Generate 10 urgent and engaging SEO headline for a limited time offer on digital marketing courses. So let's take a look and see what we get. Okay. So we're getting quite an okay headline. However, the question now is that, is it SEO friendly? Okay, so the only way for you to actually test it out, the only way is actually for you to test it out. Okay, so you can actually pick up any of this and then test it out on your site, see whether you're actually getting the traffic that you are looking for. But in most cases, any urgent and engaging, urgent kind of SEO headlines, they tend to rank a little lower in the search engine results page. And the reason behind that is because it may seem gimmicky, or it may seem like it is calling you in, but it might not be beneficial to you. So you have to be careful about what you are using the tools for. So again, like I say, it is good to also, include in your own wisdom and your own knowledge that you have gained with your years of experience or the practices that you have done while you are using the tools to support your digital marketing effort. Okay, so I hope that excites you when it comes to SEO. I think we've talked a lot about SEO. So feel free to, drop in any questions and I will try my very best to address them at the end of the session. Okay. So I think that's pretty much it about SEO. So let's carry on and return back to the slides. Okay, give me a moment. We're going to go on to the next part. Okay, it's very, very fast. I think today's session is really going to move very fast. Okay, so just for your glimpse, okay, so if you want to try it out on your own, you can feel free to, take a screenshot of this and, just try it out on your own later on. Okay, these are just some example prompts that you can utilize. And if you run out of ideas, you can always ask ChatGPT to give you prompts. So they can actually generate the prompts for you. All right, and we've got a couple more here. So we have the comparative headline, listicle headline, some benefit-focused headline, trend-based headline. So I can say that these last three ones over here, they're more relevant if you're creating like a landing page or like a digital marketing advertisement, those kind of things. It's not necessarily utilized for SEO, but the framework is the same, okay, when you are generating your prompts. Okay, great. So now we move on to the next part, which is about optimizing hashtags with AI. Now, hashtags, I think some of you are very familiar with this, especially if you use social media a lot. You would know that hashtags exist. And that hashtags, they are essential in expanding your content's reach on social media. They connect your posts to specific topics, trends, and conversation. When we talk about hashtag, even on Instagram right now, they are slowly trying to do away from hashtags. They are replacing it with text instead, which means that when you select, you can identify which interest that you're looking for. But people still search by hashtag. So, it's more of like, if you understand the logic of user experience, you know that sometimes as the creators of applications or the creators of platforms, you hope for things to be done a certain way, but your users are the one who will end up determining what they're looking for. So in the case of social media, in the case of Instagram, hashtags is still quite widely utilized, even though it is not what they are intending to do right now. They're starting to move away from it, but users still use it. And even on TikTok, if you're using TikTok, definitely hashtags are very, very important and essential part of your content bumping up and also appearing more on the For You page, which also now has a whole other conversation of whether it is still active or not. Okay, so let's take a look at how we can master hashtag strategy for social media. So bottom line, in anything that we do, I think you're going to see this as a trend across all the three things we're going to be discussing today, is relevance. Everything that you use, everything that you share, even if it's on social media or even if it's on your articles, it has to be relevant. Relevant to what? Relevant to who? Relevant to your ideal target audience, your ideal customers, clients, you name it. But it has to be relevant. And if it is not relevant, you will definitely have them moving away. You want users to stay on your social media posts, but if it's not relevant, they will not be interested in it. Simple as that. Okay. So you want to also add balance between broad and niche tags, which means mix the popular ones with the not so popular ones. So when we talk about popular, we're actually talking about those that are hitting about 1 million posts when you're looking at that particular hashtag. And niche tags, they are those that are maybe less than 1,000 posts on that particular tag. You can also create your own hashtag, so don't be shy about it. If you have your own brand, be proud about it, create your own hashtag. So there's actually an interesting story about this. I do share this quite a bit because when I started my Instagram account, it was, on the basis of it being a podcast. So I created a hashtag Fempreneur Secrets, which is the name of my brand and the name of my podcast. What was interesting is that within just 30 days after that, my hashtag has been used so much by other women entrepreneurs that the hashtag no longer belongs to me. And that's something we cannot control. Yeah. So even if you create hashtags on social media, it is not yours to own. It belongs to the community of users. So just know that if you have those content for yourself, is this your brand? You can feel free to put in your own brand hashtags. Okay. And number 3 is hashtag volume. Too many hashtags can appear spammy, and we don't want that. Our aim is for balanced number. I would say anywhere between 5 to 10 is more than sufficient to be able to be tagged in terms of like the content for what your audience may be looking for. And of course, tailor it to the platform's best practices. Basically, Instagram has different approach. Facebook has a different approach. TikTok, YouTube, they all have different approaches when it comes to hashtag. So do your own research when it comes to that. And of course, trending hashtags, you want to stay updated with those trending hashtags in your industry, but only use them sparingly. Don't use them for every single content that you have. That's not a smart strategy. Okay. So when you optimize or when you want to optimize hashtags in your using AI, you have to, first of all, understand that the AI algorithm can analyze social media trends these days and even the data to suggest the most impactful hashtags suitable for your content. Okay, but again, garbage in, garbage out. So make sure you ask the right things. Okay, so ask what you're looking for and be clear with your ask. And then you can balance out the popularity and relevance. And then AI helps identify the relevant hashtag that are suitable for your content, that are not only popular, but also highly relevant. Okay, so that's very, very important. In a short while, I'm going to demonstrate how you can use this AI tool called Perplexity. So you can start, like Googling it and finding out what is this Perplexity app. And it analyzes post content and suggests a set of optimized hashtags. So we'll explore how these hashtags can broaden the post visibility and engagement. So how can we do that? So similar to when we did it for SEO headline, we want to identify and clearly define what we are looking for. So clearly define the theme or the topic of your content or what you're interested in. And specify your target audience. Definitely any tools need to know whom are you creating the content for. And then you can craft a prompt for AI where you combine the theme and target audience into the prompt. So for example, suggest relevant hashtags for health and fitness. So this is your industry aimed at young adults, and this is your target audience. Okay, so this is something you can do for broad-based kind of prompts using AI. And then you run it into Perplexity, and they're going to generate some responses for you to consider when you are using the tool as part of your research efforts. Now, after you've already run it through the tool, you want to evaluate the hashtags. So review the suggested hashtags. It can be done manually, or you can actually run it through a system, but just be mindful not to give your passwords or not to log in onto your Instagram, your TikTok accounts if you're using a third-party tool and if it's not required. Okay, so that's something that you have to be very mindful about because data gets, like bleeded out and lost very easily in this method. Okay, so just be very careful about which tools you select. And of course, you want to refine. So if needed, you want to refine your prompt, like how I demonstrated earlier with the ChatGPT method, with more specifics and rerun it for more tailored hashtags. And once you completed that refinement process, then you can finally select the ones that are suitable and relevant to your content. So this whole process leverages on Perplexity to generate the targeted effective hashtags for social media content. Okay. There are a couple of prompts there as well. So we've got health and fitness, fashion blogging, food and cooking, travel and adventure, technology and gadgets, art and photography, parenting and family, sustainability and environment, business and entrepreneurship, and sports and outdoor activities. So I'm going to give you just a moment to just take a quick screenshot on the prompt list so you can also try it out on your own. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Okay, next one. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Okay, great. So we're going to select one. I am going to select one at random. Okay. I'm going to share my screen for Perplexity. Okay, I actually placed everything here so that it's easy for me to see. Since we talked a lot about health and fitness, we talked about cooking just now. So let's try something different. Let's try travel and adventure. So I'm going to copy this prompt. I'm going to paste it inside the chat as well so you can join me in this activity. Okay, so if you do have Perplexity activated, you can definitely try this with me. Okay, so I'm going to just open up a new conversation or thread altogether. So I'll just put list impactful hashtags for travel influencers posts about budget backpacking in Southeast Asia. Okay, and then we'll take a look. So Perplexity is slightly different than ChatGPT, where you will get to see article sources, and they're going to tell you how the articles are looking like in terms of their display picture or the main picture that is available on the article. So you get to see how it appears. And then they're also going to be able to tell you the hashtags, which is what we are here for. So they're going to share with you that these are more generic. These ones are quite generic, with 1 word, 2 words kind of hashtags, specific to backpacking, relevant to the topic, country specific. So since we're talking about Southeast Asia, these are some of the hashtags that are relevant to Southeast Asia, and engagement and community hashtags, which other people may be interested in. So the last one that you can see over here, they mentioned hashtag feminism if it is relevant to the content. And I think this is a really great tool to be able to explain that part to you. That not all hashtags would be suitable. So you've got to pick and choose the ones that are relevant. So if I am the content creator, I've got an article or a post, maybe I'm backpacking through the whole of Southeast Asia and I'm taking train, no other transportation. So what I want to do is actually, I want to refine this list. And how can I refine it further? So here is list impactful hashtags, right? So we're going to ask a follow-up question. I'm going to ask it to refine the hashtags to include budget-friendly transportation methods as part of travel, backpacking travel. Okay. The English may not be perfect, but I hope it gets this point. Okay, so we're going to refine those hashtags, and now we're going to include transportation methods. So in our hashtags, the general travel hashtags would likely remain. I think so. Yeah, is pretty much the same. No major differences, but specific to backpacking, country specific, budget travel hashtags, okay, and then transportation. So now you get to include in additional things in your post because now it's refined and more relevant to your content. Okay, so if I was the content creator, I would probably select one from each of this category rather than all of it. Okay, I'll select one from each. So since we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I'll probably select 6 to 8. I wouldn't go anything more than that because those are the more relevant ones, especially we're talking about Instagram. If I'm on TikTok, I would not go any more than 5. So I would have to narrow down and identify which ones are more important to me. If not, I would just include the words directly in the TikTok itself, okay? Because that's how actually the algorithm works. So that's something that for you to think about. So specify and also adjust it according to the platform that you are identifying, okay? Other than that, I think if you're using YouTube, yeah, feel free to include all of these hashtags or the most relevant ones out of each of the category. Okay, so that's for perplexity. We're gonna try one more. Let's see, what do I have here? Maybe we'll talk about since all of you here are in the world of entrepreneurship, we're gonna try the entrepreneurship one. So we'll open up a new thread. Okay, and generate compelling hashtags for a LinkedIn article on startup growth strategies for entrepreneurs. But I'm going to adjust it now immediately. I'm going to put in new entrepreneurs because most of you here are new. Okay, so let's make it relevant to you. Okay, so here are some of the hashtags. We've got general, we have growth focus hashtag, entrepreneurial mindset hashtags, networking and community hashtags, industry specific hashtags, engagement and learning hashtags. And I think that's actually a good gauge. Okay, but if you feel that this is too broad, you can always narrow it down. Okay, so how can we narrow it down? Our original prompt was to generate for a LinkedIn article on startup growth strategies for new entrepreneurs. I feel this is actually quite generic, not generic, it's quite specific already, but you can be even more specific by letting them know in the follow-up, say that we generate hashtags and make it relevant to new entrepreneurs in the sustainability space in Singapore. So that's super specific right now. Okay, so they're gonna make it even more focused. So this is your industry focused startup hashtags, country focus, which is Singapore, funding and support hashtags relevant to you, especially if you're a startup, you're looking for grants, you're looking for funding, this is relevant. And they even specified the hashtags that are relevant to Singapore. So in this case, it's ACE.SG or Enterprise Singapore. Yeah, and community and networking hashtags, these are some of it. Industry specific, learning and inspirational hashtags. So pick the ones that are relevant to your social media content. Like I said, you have to actually balance it out and adjust it according to the social media platform that you are posting it up on, and just pepper in the more relevant one. But there's a tip that I can share with you is that you must always include your brand hashtag somewhere in your posting, whether it is in the actual design of your content or in the captions itself. And the reason for this is just, to create brand authority. We want to make sure that people recognize us and recognize the content that we are creating. Okay, so that's the best tip that I can share with you on this. So we've actually got time for one more using Perplexity. So let's pick out another one. We did health just now. Let's consider sports and outdoor activity. So let's try that. Okay. I'm going to do one more. Create engaging hashtags for a sports gear company's social media posts about hiking equipment. Okay, so here is where you can start to customize it. So we're going to get familiar with it. We're going to get a little bit more specific to our prompts. Okay, so create engaging hashtags for a sports gear company social media post, but who is the company, right? So you can replace it with your company's name. So let's say your company's name for a sports gear brand called, I don't know, what should we call it? Run for Life. I don't know. Okay, I'm just coming up with like weird names, but yeah, Run for Life. Okay, social media post about hiking equipment. Okay, we're gonna add in a little bit more to be specific. For maybe we're gonna add budget friendly somewhere. Okay, so budget friendly hiking equipment. Okay, so let's run it. So good news is that, or well, it's up to you whether you want to take this good news or not. There are articles talking about the same topic, which means that it is popular enough for you to identify it. Okay, so there are sources over here that they've identified some images for reference, and these are the hiking gear hashtags that may be relevant to you. So you can select those that makes most sense for your content and pepper them into your social media post. Okay, so there's actually 3 categories over here. Quite a lot actually, quite a lot of hashtags that you're getting over here. I would probably go no more than 10 if it's on Instagram. On YouTube, I think 3 is sufficient actually, since there's 3 categories. We'll just go with the top 3. And then if you're running it on TikTok, adjust it accordingly to TikTok's style. Sometimes I notice that on TikTok, the hashtags also include emojis, so adjust it accordingly. Yeah, so this is just some of the things that you can do, play around with Perplexity, and familiarize yourself with, like how to utilize the tool. I think if you've never played with Perplexity, the one interesting thing that I can share with you is that it's actually free, complimentary for you to actually use it for basic searches. But if you want to go a little bit further, like for example, you want to upload images and you want them to do generative AI prompts from that, you can definitely upgrade to Pro if you can afford it or if it's within your reach. Okay, so that's definitely something that you can consider for Perplexity. All right, great. So we've covered that part. I'm going to move on to the next one, which is email marketing. Hold on, let me share back the Canva slides. Okay, so we've already so far covered SEO headlines. We've also looked at hashtags. So the next one is email marketing. Now, email marketing is something that is really very beneficial for any businesses. And the reason behind that is quite simple, is that you don't own social media. Even if you create your own accounts, they're not yours to keep. Because at any time, which has happened before, where Instagram, servers get shut down, you can't access Instagram at all, or when WhatsApp was down for a few hours, everybody started complaining, right? But emails is somewhat yours, okay, backed by, all the regulations surrounding data protection and all that. The emails that you have collected for marketing purposes, of course, cleaned out with all the relevant PDPR or PDPA rules, you adjust it accordingly, and you are able to utilize, the email marketing for your own digital marketing efforts. So if you retain a list of emails, it is going to be able to help you reach out to a more warm set of audience as compared to very cold audience on Instagram. Okay, so if you're very unfamiliar with this term, let me just briefly explain it. So warm means that they are likely going to be keen or interested in what you have to offer. But cold, they are clueless, they have no idea what you do, they don't know at all that you exist, they just, stumble upon it. So it really depends on what you're looking at or what's your intention for running all those efforts. For me, email marketing is one of the most important things for you to have in your business, even at an early stage. So if let's say I have $1,000 and I have to decide between spending $1,000 on actually building my email list versus spending that $1,000 on running social media content, I would choose building my email list anytime. Even if it means also to run it through social media, so I can get my audience on social media to become part of my email list. Okay, so those just something for you to think about. And the reason behind that is just because emails, especially when personalized, drive a higher transaction rate. People are more interested in what you have to offer because it sounds more relevant to them. They've seen you, they've probably heard of you, they made a conscious effort. They chose to get involved with your brand. And that's the difference between a follower that comes by on Instagram or even on any social media platform as compared to email marketing. And personalized emails, they really definitely significantly improve the engagement rate. When I first started my business, when I first started Fempreneur Secrets, I focused a lot on building the email list. So I had a goal, and my goal was very straightforward, which is that I wanted to get my first 100 email subscribers. And that was made really possible very fast. So if you have a little bit of creativity, a little bit of strategy, you can definitely get up to your first 100 email subscribers very, very fast. And then eventually I scale it up to 500 email subscribers, then to 1,000. And then I put a stop there because I didn't want anyone more than that. I knew that if I have anything more than that, I will end up actually not speaking to a complete warm audience. Or at least I'm not ready for that. So I maintained it at 1,000. And I think the highest that I ever got to was 1,500 email subscribers. My the results that I get is that my email subscribers are the ones who would actually buy from me as compared to my Instagram subscribers, Instagram followers. Okay, so this is just to share with you and to open up your mind that emails are actually very, very important. So do your very best to prioritize email collection or email marketing efforts more than any other efforts. This is my personal opinion. Okay, as a digital marketer, this is something that I highly recommend a lot of people, even my clients also, well, depending on the size of their businesses, I would recommend email marketing. It will definitely help you to grow your business further. So with that said, you can use AI to tailor your content so that you can, adjust, optimize, and even create good headlines for your emails or even content for your emails. So you can craft impactful email marketing copy using artificial intelligence. Again, I think the rule of thumb we've already identified earlier is about clarity, and you also need to identify your intent. Why is it that you're using it for? What are you trying to write? What's the purpose? So keep it clear, keep it concise. Make sure that in terms of your email, when you read emails, there's that subject line, right? So the subject line is the one that is making the first impression. So make it catchy yet relevant, but never be misleading. I can share with you some very funny ones that I've seen online, which include things like $1 million. Like they just put 1,000,000,000. And then you're just wondering, okay, should I click on this? Is this spammy or not? Yeah, but apparently for this company, it gets them high open rates. It really depends on your audience. Okay, so I can't say for sure. For me, it probably wouldn't work. It would go into the spam box of my audience. Okay, but personalization is important. So in email marketing, whatever tools that you decide to use, whether it is ConvertKit, MailChimp, MailerLite, what have you, there's an option for you to actually personalize your emails by including the recipient's first name or last name and tailor the content and interests based on their past interactions and behaviors. Plenty of tools out there for you to explore. You want to also insert the value proposition and state the benefit upfront. Like, why should they be spending 5 minutes or less reading your emails as compared to all the other things they can do in the day? Why should they do that? So you want to extend them a favor, which is to utilize their time effectively. So make sure to include the value proposition of that particular email when you're generating your prompt. And of course, engaging opening. So start with an interesting question or fact to grab attention. So even without AI, this generic rule of thumb will definitely help you to kickstart your journey in email marketing copy. And in any digital marketing efforts, you must always include this thing called the call to action. Any digital marketing effort. So whether it is your Instagram, social media posts, whether it is you're creating advertisements on Meta and what have you, you still need to include a call to action. So a call to action or CTA simply means that it is that clear instruction you would like your audience to take. So I like to use this as an example where you have to make the assumption that your audience do not know what you want them to do. So give very clear and straightforward instructions. So we talk about call to actions, we're actually thinking about things like the buttons if you're on a web page. So you got to give it very clear instructions. So if you would like them to shop now, make sure it's shop now. If you would like them to sign up, then make sure it's sign up. Don't overcomplicate things and use the things that are what they are already familiar with. Okay, so that's something for you to think about when it comes to call to action. And of course, make sure that in terms of your email marketing, you want to make it mobile friendly in terms of its design. So most emails are actually read on mobile, so you ensure that your copy looks good on all devices. Now, depending on your industry as well, there are some studies that has already been done. Some marketing research companies have done it, that if you are in e-commerce business, visuals stand out more than text. But if you're in service-based business, then text stands out more than visual. So depends on your industry, you pick the one that are relevant to you. So if you're in service-based business, the tool that I would recommend for your email marketing dissemination or the email marketing effort, I would recommend to use ConvertKit because it will just cut out all the other frills and just focus on the content if you're using services. But if you're using e-commerce, as a method for you to capture the attention of your audience, revenue generating method, you can consider MailChimp, you can consider Drip, of course, if you have a little bit more budget, you can look at all the other tools that are available out there. But I can safely say that the more visual it is for e-commerce, the more you can capture the attention of your audience. Okay, so something for you to think about. And of course, these are very, very important. Item number 3 over here. In any efforts that you do, whether it is email marketing or whether it's your SEO or even the content that you are creating, it is good to include testimonials and even proof points, as we call it in the comms world. So these will help you to build the trust of your customers. Now imagine you are the user and you are seeing articles about which treadmill to buy to run on, right? And if this company has no reviews whatsoever, would you feel convinced to purchase from them? Probably not, right? Especially in a world where it's filled with scams and all that. You feel a little bit more conscious, more cautious rather than conscious, more cautious in making your financial decision. So if you have the social proof and the credibility to back up your claims, your content, your digital marketing copy will just be elevated to the next level. So that's something for you to also think about, especially if you're new in your business and you don't actually have use cases or you don't actually have customers who are able to test out. You can always get users to test it out and just ask them what they think about it, what they feel about it. Yeah, so those are just some ways on how you can actually get social proof. Other ways you can include storytelling in your email marketing. And this is where you will use narratives to connect on an emotional level and make your message memorable. So storytelling is actually a very great way to hook your audience into wanting to know more. We are, as human beings, we are generally curious creatures. We are always very interested to find out about the background of this person or what's going on in the life of this person and so on. So it would be good to actually share a little bit more about what goes on behind the thinking process of your products, or how do you come up with the name of the collection and so on. So that's something that you can play with email marketing. And just like we talked about with SEO headlines, you can also run A/B testing, where you test different versions of your copy to see which resonate best with your audience. And this one can easily be done on any tools, on any of the email marketing tools that I've mentioned earlier. So when we utilize AI, we can also create email marketing efforts that can optimize the copy. Okay, so you can create unique copy for each segment or each group of audiences that you have. So you can learn how to leverage AI to personalize the email for your segments and ensure that the right message reaches the right audience. Okay, while keeping the message standard and relevant across the board. So I will demonstrate using this tool called Claude. Okay, this is another AI tool we're going to look at in a short while. And this is where you can craft personalized emails for different segments of an audience while you showcase the power of AI in making each email feel unique and tailored. Okay, just like that, with all the prompts that we shared earlier today, you want to start by defining, be clear about what your ask is. So identify the main goal of your email. Is it a promotion email? Is it a newsletter? Is it a weekly newsletter? Is it an announcement? What is it? Okay, so get clear with the intent of your content. And of course, target audience, very important. So identify the characteristics and preferences of your target audience. So in some cases, right, perhaps, if you're very new to email marketing, you might want to understand also the length of words that your audience resonate with. So I've tested out a few with my own audience, and I realized that for my audience, they don't really like lengthy emails unless it's very personal letters that comes from me. So that's something that you can adjust and tweak it based on your own research and also data that you have collected from your audience. Then you can also develop an AI prompt. So here we have an example, which is craft a personalized email for promoting a new fitness app to health enthusiasts in their 20s. So let me reiterate, yeah? So here you want to craft a personalized email. So this part over here is the intent or the purpose for promoting. Okay, so we've got another purpose over here, promoting a new fitness app. So this is what that we are trying to promote, and to health enthusiasts in their 20s, and that's our target audience. Okay, so then we can enter this prompt into Claude and we'll see the results. So after you've entered it into the tool, we want to analyze it, refine it, like we've shared so many times. And of course, then we can finalize our email. So we're going to use this whole process and we're going to apply it into Claude. Okay, so let me just demonstrate it to you right now. Where is it? Okay. Okay, we're at Claude. Okay, so it's CLAUDE.ai. If it's new to you, just know that in the previous session where I was conducting, I actually had difficulties using this because the SMS didn't come through. Apparently, it was stuck in my spam folder. So if that is what you are experiencing, go and check your spam inbox for your mobile phone SMS and see perhaps the OTP is there. Okay, so we'll see how it goes from there. Okay, so for this, what we're going to do now is to create the personalized email. Okay, and I have a few prompts that you can select from. I'm going to just drop the first one, and then when we share the next one, you can copy on the chat again. Hold on, let me try that right now. Okay, so this is a prompt we're going to try, which is to compose a personalized email announcing the launch of a new eco-friendly skincare line targeting environmentally conscious customers. Very, very specific, which is great. So I'm going to paste that in and we're going to take a look at the magic. And so I hit plus and it's going to generate. Okay, so they're going to create an artifact so I can easily review and modify it as needed, which is great. Okay, so it has even an explanation as to why this article would work well for you or why this email would work well for you. So you can actually click it directly. It will still open up to this. Okay, so if you take a look over here, they include the subject headline, introducing the brand name. You insert your brand name, of course. Nurture your skin, protect our planet. Ooh, I think if I'm a pro-sustainable person, I would definitely want to read more. Okay, then you can include this part, dear customer name. So if you're using the tools, right, they have their own tags or their own short codes to be placed in to replace this term over here called customer name. Okay, so you've got to adjust it according to the platform that you use. So you see, it's actually quite a good email. We're thrilled to announce the launch of your brand. Okay, and our new eco-friendly skincare line that's as kind to your skin as it is to our planet. So if I am selling this skincare line, this is where I would actually insert an image, like right around here, an image showing all the skincare line or the whole skincare line that I have. So this is something to kind of like engage your audience, especially since for e-commerce products, photos and images, they are the ones that attract the audience better. Okay. So you can mention at which brand. We believe that self-care and earth care go hand in hand. Very beautiful words. That's why we've crafted a range of products that not only nourish and rejuvenate your skin, but also minimize our environmental footprint. So if you are a very sustainable, friendly business or brand, you would definitely resonate with this. So that's exactly what Claude is really great at doing. Okay, and what makes your brand special? They help you identify 5 key points over here. These 5 key points can either be turned into, image icons, or you can even just keep it as it is. And then if they want to find out more, they can read more details on your website, for example. Okay. And as a valued customer who shares our commitment to sustainability, we're offering you an exclusive 20% discount. Of course, adjust the discount and the discount code according to your business and the platform that you use. Okay. So visit your website to explore our range and learn more about our eco-friendly products. Join us in our mission to make skincare a force for good for you and for our planet. Okay, so let me read back the prompt. So here you are announcing the launch. So this is okay as an announcement. But if it is like your second or your third email to your customers, you may not want to keep saying the same line. So you want to adjust it according to the content. Okay. And how I would also probably want to improve this is that, yeah, I was about to say this, so they have added this, which is PS. So in email marketing, right, we always try to add this thing called PS at the end of it. And the reason is because we are consuming a lot of content every single day. And even in one whole day of our work and our daily lives, we are browsing so many things and consuming really a lot of information. So most of the time, when it comes to long emails or lengthy emails, our audience may not actually have the time to read every detail. So you want to actually scroll all the way down and give them a space for them to have the gist of what you're trying to share without them having to read the full email. So basically, this is your TLDR. Too long, didn't read? I guess you can actually put it down there. So the PS, it helps them to get an idea of what the article or what the email is about. And if they're interested to learn more, they can always scroll back up and read the whole email. Okay, so this is a very, very useful tip that I can share when it comes to email marketing as well. Okay, so great. Now, the beautiful thing about Claude is that it allows you to improve on the content that you might want to, like get tweaks on or refine on directly. So let's say I select this, zero waste packaging. Okay, I can improve or explain. So I'm just gonna ask it to improve it. Okay, so I would then input what exactly do I want it to improve on. I can mention that we don't use containers, replace with product packaging. I don't know, maybe, how do I put this? Okay, replace with bio. Yeah, they have, I have no idea. Okay, I really have no idea. So replace with I don't know, replace with packaging that are friendly to biodiversity. Okay, we'll see what they have to say about that. Okay, so this is the improvement that they're going to make. So biodiversity friendly packaging, which means that even if, let's say, this packaging goes into the sea, it is still going to be biodiverse. I mean, it's going to be friendly for our ecosystem, okay, entirely. So this is something that you can do with it. So you can adjust the specific or particular parts of the generated content run by Claude. Okay, so we're going to run one more. We've got time to run one more. So let's do that. Okay, I'm going to select a monthly newsletter. Okay, So let's do that. Okay, so we've got a question. Let me see if I can address this. I have a question. There are so many AI tools out there like Perplexity, Claude, and ChatGPT, and how are they different? And how do we know when best to use each of them? Well, this is a really great question. So I think I'm going to address it right now since we've actually seen all the three tools that we want to talk about today. So for me, when it comes to the tools that you want to use for artificial intelligence, you pick the ones that are relevant to your business and that makes sense for your operations. So I've only used ChatGPT for my business. It's more than sufficient for the work that I do. Really, really more than sufficient because I'm really quite familiar with the way the GPT is actually working, and now we're at GPT 4.0. So I kind of know already what results I can kind of expect from ChatGPT. But now there are so many other tools like Copilot, you even have Claude, you have Perplexity. So you choose the ones that work for you. So if you are the kind of person that you cannot, for nuts, write anything, you can't come up word for every little things that are copy related, then I would highly recommend for you to use those generative AI tools that are connected to the internet. So if you recall, right, prior to Copilot, Gemini, and all that, ChatGPT is not connected to the internet. It is based on a database, big data actually, that has stored all the past information that it has covered through the net. Okay, and then it has a cutoff point where data is gathered until 2023, for example, or it's been recently updated to June 2024. So that's an example of like limitations that you can find in ChatGPT. But now with the pro version of ChatGPT and even with Perplexity and Claude, right, you actually have more options for you to choose from, basically. So just choose the one that works for you. And that's why all these tools actually have trials for you to experience it. For me, I still will go for ChatGPT. That's my personal preference. But you do you. You can try it out and see which one works best for you. If you need to pay a subscription, I would say just pay for one that is most relevant to you. Okay, so you just pick the ones that makes more sense to you. Okay. Okay, Solomon, I'll give you the space to ask questions. Give me a moment, okay? I want to demonstrate one more on Claude. So let me just create a new one. I'm going to go back to Claude. I'm going to start a new chat. Okay, I've actually selected another one, which is to draft a monthly newsletter email. Okay, so when you're promoting something as compared to a newsletter, it has a very different intent and has very, very different purposes. So we want to adjust it according to the intent and the purpose of our email. So let's just place this in. Okay, so draft a monthly newsletter email for a local bookstore, personalized to engage avid readers interested in historical fiction. Okay, great. So it's generating it. It's actually making things a lot easier for you. Okay, so you can see here, the good thing about Claude is that it allows you to ask it further questions or follow-ups as to how it selected or any of these books for that matter. Okay, so let's take a look. So dear history enthusiasts. Okay, so in my opinion, this is not personalized enough. So you might want to replace this with the first name of the person using the tool that, the email marketing tool that you have. Okay. And this month at Timeless Tales Bookstore, we're excited to bring you a curated selection of historical fiction that will transport you into different eras and cultures. So we've got 3 books that they are recommending over here. What I would do is that, depending on the type of my audience, if my audience love to read, I would maintain it this way. But if my audience still needs some visual representation or visual aid in that sense, I would actually split this up into 3 columns and include the book covers on top of each of it. So there's some visual elements while still maintaining the text form of the email. And if you have any upcoming events, you can include them in as well. This is actually quite lengthy, but it's okay because this is only sent monthly. If it is a regular update kind of thing, I wouldn't recommend for an email to be this long. Okay, so this is something that's quite interesting. I wouldn't change much except the customization part for this. Yeah, so yeah, if you were asking questions related to the tools, right? Now that we are experiencing it together, if you write a lot of emails, I think Claude has a very good user interface, which makes it easy for you to see. like how you would want to visualize your emails to look like. Because if you take a look at my screen right now, the right-hand side portion is probably how I would see the email on my mobile phone, how I would probably consume it on my mobile phone if I'm the user. So I can roughly estimate that, okay, this sizing is about right, this font is about right, maybe the text is about right, so I can make the adjustments accordingly. They have the ability for you to download to file, which means that if you download it, what it's gonna come up with is actually, you can open it up, it's a txt file, so you open up the text file. I haven't tried this publish button, so let's try it together. So I think if you publish it, it will be published to your account. Okay, so if you like that kind of thing, you can definitely do that. Definitely, I have a lot more to also explore with Claude. It is also new to me. So you can feel free to explore all the different AI tools. It's always changing. It's always an evolution. So you can, definitely explore it according to your own needs. Okay, let me go back to the slides quickly, and then I will open up the floor for questions. Okay, so these are the prompts that we actually went through just now. So there were product launch emails. We went through that. And I also did the monthly newsletter. So I'm going to give you 3 seconds to take a screenshot of this prompt list. Okay, so 3, 2, 1. And now page 2 of the prompt list. You can also take a look at this. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Great. You can try it out later on your own. Okay, so the gist of it is that whatever we've covered today is quite unique and interesting to digital marketing efforts, where you can empower your marketing journey with AI. 3 tools only, we talked about just 3 tools today, but they were very insightful and helpful for us to remember our points. Okay, and let's recap the key points. So in today's session, we took a look at the SEO headline. Okay, we saw that SEO is very important, and we knew that we can create headlines using AI. And we also optimized the hashtags for the selection of the platform. It really depends on which social media platform that you utilize, but you've got to adjust your hashtag strategies according to the platform. And email marketing personalization. So create the email content copy directly into Claude if you want to, or even if you, let's say, run it on ChatGPT, you can also run the same type of prompts on ChatGPT, and it is able to produce something similar. Okay, and you want to implement AI in your marketing strategy and execution, because I highly encourage it because it saves you time. Especially if you are a solopreneur or you have a very lean team, this speeds up the process of your digital marketing efforts tremendously. So something I highly, highly recommend. And I think this is a very important learning point for us to take, which is that AI is new. It is still quite new. So you have to continuously learn and keep yourself updated with newest trends, newest tools, try it out, just stay curious, and just keep learning, playing around with all these tools. Okay, so before we get to the feedback, yes, I can open the floor to questions. So I understand, Solomon, you have 2 questions. Would you like to type it out, or would you like to unmute yourself and share those questions? Okay, open the floor for question, not just for Solomon. Anyone can ask questions right now.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, Solomon.
Hi. Thank you, Huda. Okay, so my first question is about SEO. So it's like this. I have a business partner. He's a baby boomer generation. He's he's engineering background. So when I talk to him about SEO, he gave me the impression of it's like just getting an antivirus software. So once I put in my antivirus, everything will be safe. It runs automatically. So my question is, if you were me, how will you explain what SEO is to him?
Wow, okay. Okay, interesting. First question. Okay, you have a second question?
Okay, my second question is about ChatGPT and any other alternative. You talk about subject experts using ChatGPT, but don't forget there's also another big group that is people who are learning, people who are not subject experts. That's why they use GPT to learn. So for that group of people, how do they know, are the prompts good and are the answers that come out from ChatGPT a good answer or not? Because let me give you an example. Let's say I do not know how to cook steak. So I go to ChatGPT, I say, how do I cook a steak? And he give me a recipe. Being someone who never know how to cook, I will just blindly take the recipe and start cooking, right? How do I know is it a good or a bad answer?
Very good question, Solomon. Thank you so much for asking them. So I will address them one by one. The first one is, how do you explain SEO to a boomer, in this case, and like show them that it is actually very useful and it's not a plug and play kind of solution. Okay, so how I would actually approach this is to make them understand that the world has evolved, okay, which is not going to be an easy conversation. I know it's not going to be an easy conversation. But I would definitely remind them that we are living in the 21st century and technology has evolved far faster than they had ever imagined. So that also means that people are bombarded by content and information every single day. So if we don't keep ourselves updated, we don't share updated information about our business, about our brand, about the things that we do, our audience will never be able to find us either. So this is a continuous effort that you need to do and work on. And honestly, Solomon, I think with any boomers, right, you just need to sit them down and ask them to meet an expert. I think they feel more confident hearing it from someone else rather than the people who they're working with lah. Unfortunately, I think some of us may agree with that. So if they hear it from an expert and you can determine this person is an expert, they will definitely be able to be more open-minded. At least I hope so for your case, Solomon. Now to address the next question about wait, let me think. What was the question? Could you recap? Could you help me refresh my memory on that part?
Yes. So for people who are not subject experts, how
okay.
do we know, are we giving ChatGPT good prompts and then coming up with good answers? Because we do not know what is the right answer to start off with.
Understand. Okay, great. So the rule of thumb when you're using any AI tools is that it is not the main resource. Okay, so resource still needs to be backed up with other research items that you are actually going to be looking at. You can ask it questions to give you a rough idea. You still have to validate that information by doing a little bit more research. Means, in other words, AI is supposed to speed up the process, but it does not cut out research entirely. So you still need to be smart by doing a little bit more research. And so if you look at it this way, if I am writing or creating a curriculum, I'm creating an online course for that matter. I'm sure you may have seen advertisements where people say like, oh, you can create passive income by creating a course using ChatGPT entirely. You don't even have to be a subject matter expert. And this is where it's wrong, because number one, it's not ethical in the first place. You're not a subject matter expert. How are you going to teach something that you have no idea about? So that's at least for me, okay? But when you are actually there and you know roughly what you're looking for, you want to use ChatGPT as a means for you to cut down the research time. So instead of actually going through 21 articles, okay, just a random number I picked up. Let's say I have to go through 21 articles to find a fact whether AI is relevant in the context of cooking, okay? Then 21 articles will take me a lot of time to read. If each article read time is about 10 minutes, I'm actually spending 210 minutes reading articles, which is a lot of time, right? But instead of actually spending that time looking at 21 articles, you can ask ChatGPT on the articles that they recommend. Okay, so they can recommend top 3 articles instead. So then you go and read those articles and make your own judgment, your own decision of whether that's relevant to what you are asking. So in other words, as much as AI has progressed, it is not a replacement to whatever that you are doing. Because if it is a replacement, then you do not need people anymore. You do not need human resource anymore. So that's also the reason why, I guess in some way or form, that it is not that advanced to a point where it can replace us. So we still need to do a little bit of research, not a lot, a little bit of research to validate it. Okay, so I give you an example for ChatGPT, and the example you identified, which is steak, like cooking steak. I don't know how the doneness, I don't know how it's supposed to look like. I've never cooked steak before. Okay, so you can actually put it into the prompt to treat you like a 3-year-old or a 10-year-old. Okay, so this is something that I've shared with my students. Let me just quickly share it on my screen. Okay, let's say I open ChatGPT. Okay, I'm going to get it to teach me something as though I'm a 10-year-old. Okay, so I'm going to ask it to behave a certain way, and I am going to input certain things. So this is a common prompt that you may have seen around on social media. They talk a lot about this. So you ask ChatGPT or any AI tools to act in a certain way. So act as a chef. Okay, I'm going to add one more word, patient chef. Okay, and act as a patient chef with years of culinary experience. You are going to teach me like a 10-year-old on how to prepare a great steak using cast iron pan. Okay, simple example, okay? So act as, which means it's an instruction you are giving to the ChatGPT, you're giving it this instruction, and you're going to ask it to do something. Okay, and then if you want to go a step further, you can mention this. I will provide you with the ingredients I have. Okay, so this is something that you can do. So usually what I will do is I'll make sure this is the last instruction, like exactly what I would like it to do. You are going to teach me this part. Okay, so I will provide the list of ingredients. So at this stage, right, what we may expect out of this is that ChatGPT may respond back to say, I acknowledge. What are the ingredients? Okay, let's see whether that's the case here. There you go. It will wait for you to tell me the ingredients, right? So it's acknowledging your prompt. Now you tell them the ingredients that you have. So I'm going to say I have a ribeye steak. I'll put here 250 grams, just for fun. Okay, I have 500 grams of potatoes. Okay, I cannot think of a name for the potatoes right now. I've got some butter, oil. What else do I need in this? Herbs. Yeah, then let's see what it's gonna teach me with. Okay, so now with the ingredient list that I have, they're gonna advise me this, and these are the tools that I need, kind of like reading a recipe book, right? And it's gonna tell me exactly what I need to do with the ingredients that I have. Okay, so once the potatoes are ready, drain the water and let them sit for a minute. Okay, this is about right, actually, because you're giving it very specific instructions, right? You're asking it about to cook it in a cast iron pan. So take out the steak, make sure that it is room temperature, season the steak, and then put it at high heat and so on. Then add butter and herbs. Okay, now at this point, because this is really quite clear instructions, right? I would simply just do the same question that I have on Google. Okay, so I'm just gonna do a quick Google search. How to cook steak on a cast iron. Okay, I'm just gonna do a quick Google search. I'm gonna find the first article that I have, and then I'm gonna do a comparison, a quick comparison. So my quick comparison is telling me that ingredients that are important: steak, oil, salt and pepper, butter, they're all there. Okay, and in this case, she also included garlic. These are the steps. So they have pat dry the steak, season salt, add butter, garlic, herbs to the skillet. So let's go down to the recipe itself and see how the recipe looks like. So we have the ingredients, we have the instructions. Heat oil into the cast skillet around medium heat. Okay, so let's take a look at what ChatGPT said. Okay, so based on the step-by-step, turn on the stove to high heat. This article said medium heat, medium-high heat. And then add 1 tablespoon of oil. You can add in the oil. You just mentioned heat the avocado oil. Okay. Then after that, cook the steak. Place the steak carefully into the pan. You would hear a sizzle, and that's a good sign. So place the steaks in the skillet and cook for 4 minutes on one side without touching. Use the tongs, flip, and cook for another 4 more minutes. Okay, so then they say leave it alone for 3 to 4 minutes. Pretty similar. Then flip the steak 3 to 4 minutes using tongs. Yeah, and then even the same tips, don't move it around. So what does it show? If I'm doing a quick research to validate and verify that the information that I've gotten from ChatGPT is accurate or close to accurate, This is a simple search. Just with one article, I can validate that this information that ChatGPT has given me is almost accurate. If I'm not like a chef, I'm a newbie, I can follow this as closely as I can and make adjustments along the way. Okay, so I hope that answers your question, Solomon. Because at the end of the day, when we use ChatGPT or we use any AI tools, we want to make sure that it aligns with our intent. And of course, we back it up by doing a quick research. Okay, so that quick demonstration there, I hope that it actually helps you to understand this whole concept better. Okay. Oh,
Thank you.
one more question. Thanks, Solomon. I've got one more question. I've got time for it. Regarding SEO, does the search engine filter away headlines with urgent words like limited time only in it? Or is the search engine not biased against headlines like such? Okay, from my understanding, SEO, okay, if you talk about search engine results page, it's not that they filter away, like, like dismiss it entirely. No, it just ranks it lower in the search engine results page. So let me open up Google search, okay? So we're gonna do a test, okay? From my understanding, they will actually bring it lower. But because I'm actually specifically looking at limited time only, they will definitely put it, like make it appear, okay, in my demonstration here. So you've got limited time only. Obviously, all the things that are related to limited time offer will come out, right? But if I am not searching for limited time only offer specifically in my keywords, I'm actually looking for, let's say, a treadmill, okay? Treadmill for home. You will notice that there's no such words in the first few items. Okay, I'm gonna test this theory even further. I'll go to page 5 of the search engine results page. You still do not find any limited offers here. So what they have done is that they have deprioritized that. They put it all the way down. So if you have that as your headline, it is not the priority. They bring it down, bring it down, bring it down. So it is not relevant to the audience of what they are looking for. So that's what I shared earlier for clarity. I hope that answers your question, Wang Hin. Yeah. Okay, so basically it's kind of like penalizing in some way or form, that if you have such headlines, it's not relevant to the audience, so it's just pushed down into the search engine results page. So in this case, I'm already at page 15. Okay, I'm gonna go to page 19. I still don't see it. Right? So what it shows there is that this is really not relevant, so your audience will definitely not be interested in it. So don't ever put that in your headlines. Okay, so that's one tip that I can share with you. Okay, great. I think we've got lots of questions. Very good. I have time for one last question, but in the meantime for that, I'm going to share the screen. I believe there's a QR code that you need to scan for feedback. So while you scan that, I'm open to one more question. Anyone would like to ask anything? Yeah, I hope you've gained a lot of insights in today's session, because I understand a lot of you are in your early stages of your business. So it may or may not be an easy journey balancing the business side of things and also trying to get clients using digital marketing. Okay, so yeah, our colleague Wan Ching has also dropped in the link for your surveys. So you can just click on the link in the chat directly as well. Okay. All right, so if there are no further questions, I want to thank you so much for being here and keep growing, okay? So if you want to stay connected with Media House, which is part of Hatch, you can go to mediahouse.hatch.sg. If you want to stay connected with me, find Huda Hamid on LinkedIn and you'll see my face. Okay, that's me, okay? So you can stay connected with me on LinkedIn. Okay, Wan Ching, can I check if there's anything else that you would like to add, or we can wrap up the class?
I just dropped your LinkedIn. Sorry, I was just trying to find your LinkedIn. And
Thank you.
I also heard from some of you that unfortunately you went down to the venue. I'm really, really sorry. We are going to offer you some complimentary access to some of the activities and events that ACE has and Hatch has. And I'm sorry again for I think some of you here who are still with us. I heard that you were down at the venue. I'm very sorry again. So yes, with that, please join us for the rest of the upcoming workshops if it aligns with you. I think some of the questions asked earlier on how to better use ChatGPT is covered in some of the other workshops. If you're interested in that, feel free to join us. Yeah, and with that, please reach out to us if you have any other questions, and we wish you a happy evening.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good evening. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.